What's up, everybody? In this video, I want to talk about the belief that is starting to permeate through the screen via Hard Knocks. So nice to see because every year we wonder, like, how good is this team? How good does this team think this team is? And what is the belief in the room? And thanks to Hard Knocks, one thing that we are seeing is that this team believes they can be very, very good and very competitive. And I just want to start with a quote from Dan Campbell, and I would share the screen here, but there's some nice choice language that's not something that we do on this channel, which is fine. And I think it's hilarious by Dan Campbell, but I'm just not going to say it on this channel. And that's the last little bit we've got to get over. And this is just to set the context for you. This is with the pants. This is with, he's got all the stuff. He said he wanted to have a pair of jeans, but all he could find was like these sweatpants or track pants. But anyways, he filled it with like chalk or something like that. And he is talking about this is that last little bit we got to get over. And he's talking in terms of believing like this is the last thing. Like we're right there. And he's like, we're right there, man. And he says, we're going places, man. There's no doubt about it, man. You can already see it. I've got a clear vision for where this team is going. But I know this. If we really want to get to where we want to go, we've got to get the rest of this stuff out of these jeans, man. All this dirt, everything that's in our jeans. The last bit of losing has got to get out of here. And he is owning the past. And we're going to talk about more because I think Chris did a very similar video on this. But I want to talk about how this team believes that the winning culture is real and that they can turn it around right now. And when you see people, when you hear people, when you watch them practice, there is a different belief about this team from teams in the past. There's a different depth. When you watch the preseason games, you don't go to the second string and you're just like, nodding off, falling asleep because like the quarterback play is so terrible. It's actually been good. The execution has been there from first to fourth quarter on the offense, on the defense, Leslie, but it's still been there. You can tell that this is a well-coached team, and this is a team where they believe it's there. They talk about last year's record and how it wasn't good enough and how this team is better. And I know some of that is like, okay, every team does that, but there's a difference. You can see it, right? If you're watching the episodes, you can feel the difference, can't you? Like as you see the quotes that are going when you're hearing interviews from players, when you're hearing interviews from coaches, it's not smoke. It's legitimate. Like they truly do believe that they're this close to being one of the better teams in the league. And I don't think I can disagree with them. But I will say this, the line is thin. The line is so thin, and that's just the NFL in general. But the line is so thin for this team. We're a few injuries away from having a rough season. We're one quarterback going down from having a really rough season. We're two linemen going down from having a really rough season. Like there's more depth, but it's still even if our best players go, we have better players to back them up this year than we did last year, and I want to talk about that in a second. But there's still not enough other talent amongst the starters to make up for that loss either, because like you look at the team that won the Super Bowl last year with the Rams, they had ridiculous talent at multiple positions. They just did. They had a good quarterback. Come on, let's give it to Stafford. All right. They had a great wide receiver. They had the best defensive lineman, arguably, to play ever, the most dominant defensive lineman. Longevity is not quite there yet, but the most dominant defensive lineman to play. You got Ramsey at corner. Like they have great playmakers at every single level. So when other starters go down, it's like it's okay because they have a decent backup come in and they have just star power that's going to cover their butts. And the Lions aren't there yet with the star power. I think we're getting there. I think we have players that could be there. I think Swift could be there at the running back. I think Penei Sewell is a star, and Ragnow are stars in the making on the offensive line. I think Hutchinson will be a star on the defensive line, but like we're still not there yet. It's not proven yet. So I think I do think that's part of it, but this team sees the talent that they have, and they see how good people can be. There was another quote here that was from Aaron Glenn. He was talking to Aiden Hutchinson, and I absolutely loved it. And he said this: everything I thought about you, it's good to know it's real. It's good to know it's real, brother. I'm serious when I say this, because a lot of time when you get guys, you don't get their true self. And man, you stand true to that. And what he's saying to Hutchinson is that it is kind of multifaceted. It's both, dude, you can play football. And I love that. But he's also saying, like, we thought we were getting this guy that was a tireless worker. We thought we were getting this guy that would run through a brick wall for the game of football, for his coaches. But you never know when you're transferring from college to pro, when you get that first big paycheck, 23 million signing bonus, right? Like when you get those things, you never know if the player's going to continue to be that just go hard guy. Aiden Hutchinson is that go hard guy. And so there's belief that these stars are going to be stars, or these young guys are going to be stars. They're not already stars. These young guys are going to be stars. There's this belief that this team could go somewhere. And I think it's sooner than later. It's the ultimate team game. And if you have 11 players on offense with one common mission and they're running in lockstep with each other, the sum is far greater. Same with the defense, 11 guys working in lockstep with each other. They can make up for lack of talent. And I think this team has already gotten more talented. And if they continue to be well coached, like things could go very, very well for them. It was also nice to see the respect between Dan Campbell and Frank Reich. I think it went both ways. At the end, when Dan Campbell said, I would love to do this next year, Frank Reich's like, yeah, let's do that. And what that tells me as well, I don't know if they'll actually do it or not, but what that tells me as well is there's a mutual respect from a coach who is kind of a proven good coach in this league with Frank Reich. He's playing in that practice, that joint practice with the Lions, and even he's like, yep, this was good for us too. And so I absolutely love what that looks like. But if you're watching it, like, this team believes, and Dan Campbell's not just blowing smoke. We've been there. People can smell it, they can taste it, they can see it when you're lying. They know when you're blowing smoke. And if Dan Campbell is going to continually blow smoke about how good this team can be, and he didn't truly believe that they could be good, they know it. Like, the players would know it, the other coaches would know it, but everybody is bought in on that team. Everybody believes that this team can truly be something special. And I think that's because they know they have something special. And maybe I'm just being a like big time Kool-Aid homer, like it's the Lions. Like, I'm nervous about it, and I'm nervous about saying this stuff at the same time. But what if? That's the Chris line. That's the other guy who does this show with me. That's the famous, like, what if? And he says that about so many things. Like, what if Jeff Okudah is healthy and back to 100%? What if Malcolm Rodriguez really is that good of a linebacker, even though he was a 6th round pick? What if Aiden Hutchinson isn't athletically limited in any way, shape, or form, and he's dominant from day one? Like, what if this is a top 3 offensive line in the National Football League? Well, if all those what ifs are true, it ends up being a good football team. The question is, will all the what ifs be true? But I think you have a coaching staff that believes that it absolutely can be true. All right. Hey, thanks for listening to this one. Hit that subscribe button below. Leave a comment right below it. We love hearing your thoughts. Are you drinking the Kool-Aid? Are you? Or is there a Kool-Aid check needing to happen right here? What do you think from the Lions this year? When you watch this, do you see what I see, in that this is a team that believes they are going to be good this year? I don't know how many wins that turns out to be, 6, 7, 8, whatever, but they truly believe they are on the right path and that it could happen sooner than later. All right, we'll see you on the next one.